While we've grown a weep nitty bong, I'm Engineer Hoist, and welcome to our weekly Transformers Earth Wars news live stream filmed live Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on twitch.tv/Engineer Hoist. So if you're watching the replay, head on over there. There's a link in the description for you to get on over there so you can join these lovely folks over here in the chat, like Big D, Grand Galvatron, Dojak, Big Bronze Rim, Oktar, Gen 1 Red Alert, Overwatch. I saw DS Michaels is new, so welcome. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you saying it's your favorite channel. I appreciate it. And so we've been starting off the videos with the we start about 10 minutes early with the question of the day. I asked who is your favorite Transformers character, and only after I posed that I realized I was asked the same question when I was a guest on the official live stream last week, and I kind of stumbled and I completely forgot to mention Sentius Magnus and Sentius Malus, the two brand new characters premiered in Earth Wars. Fantastic characters and in the game, and also actually the storyline is actually really good too. But we also had votes for Nod, Death Chicken, aka Deathsaurus, Lugnut, Dead End, Skywarp, Octopunch was getting some chatter in there, which he and Sea Spray, they definitely do have a unique gun style as gunners, very similar to Skyburst and Onslaught, where it gives more of an area of effect, and their abilities can actually be very useful if you can end up getting it used right. And Scourge, Swoop, a lot. There's a lot of favorite, a lot of favorite characters. Really, every bot is useful if you know how to use them. For the most part. Yeah, we saw some talk about Blades too. Blades is quickly becoming one of my favorites as well. Okay, so how about we get to some Transformers Earth Wars news. This weekend's event is called the Opening Shot. This is an Alliance event, so you need to gather your Alliance and take part in this weekend's event to win up to 3 Golden Lagoon cores. Those came out a little while back and we haven't seen them since. Now's your chance to get a couple more if you like them and don't have them anymore. You can also win up to 100,000 Spark, up to 2,500 4-star shards. That is good for a full 4-star crystal, even if you have no shards right now. Up to 2,000 3-star shards. That's a full 3-star crystal. And up to 5,000 premium shards, which is 5 premium crystals. Plus also up to 30 red Kremzik battle boosts. So a lot of people are asking, how do I get a free 4-star? Events like this is how you get free 4-star crystals and hopefully new characters. Get yourself an Alliance that can get to the point level that you need to, and it's actually a pretty generous point level, which we'll get to in a moment. This is an event, an Alliance totalizer. It's just one big prize board. There are no prestiges. Super XP, so an excellent event to go level up your bots. It starts at the usual Friday start time, ends at the usual Monday stop time. And of course, once you've finished the prize board, it's done, and you get to go back to your normal battles on the weekend if you happen to be in an Alliance that can manage to pull that off. How do you participate? Just like all Alliance events, you have to be Headquarters level 4, and to be in an Alliance, you hit the yellow event button, select your battle zone, win the battle, win the points, win your prizes. The battle zones are the standard battle zones, where the battle points that you earn increase with the zone that you go in. And here is a summary of the prizes. There are lots of these prizes sprinkled all throughout the entire totalizer, but once you hit the point values I have on the list there, you will have collected all of the available points. Now I will tell you the 4-star shards is one big prize of all 2,500 shards at 115,000 points. Again, like I said, that's pretty generous for a 4-star crystal. Why don't they just give you a 4-star crystal? They give you shards because it gives you the option to use it for either Autobot or Decepticon faction if you have reached that level in the game where you have those unlocked. Most people should be using their 4-star crystals for their main faction. If you're an Autobot, use it on your Autobot crystal. If you're a Decepticon, you should use it on a Decepticon crystal, but it's your choice. You can use it for either because you are winning shards. And then, of course, they go along, and the Golden Lagoon cores do come in, again, 3 different places throughout the prize list, but 395,000 is the final one. And beyond that, there's like always, you can go the extra mile, as they say, and win some Frozen Spark crystals, which gives you an equal chance to win 5,000, 7,500, or 10,000 Spark, in addition to the prizes already listed. If you are in one of those alliances who do well and score lots and lots and lots of points in buckets. So that's it for the event. Now, we did get a preview of the new bots. This is what they call the paint overs. It's not the 3D model yet, but that should be coming soon. First up for the Autobots is Sixgun. Now, there's no word that whether he's going to have any of the weaponizer abilities like the toy does. My guess is no. I have a feeling he's just going to be a standard bot who has a robot mode and an alt mode, and that's it. I don't see, even though the toy can come apart and can equip to other bots, I do not anticipate seeing that for this guy, especially because his counterpart is Triggerhappy, who is not one of those bots who can do that. So going back to Sixgun, he is from the Transformers Siege line. We'll take a closer look at the figures, but I do have him here. And Triggerhappy, which is, I think a little funny, because I just had him here on the stream a couple weeks ago when we looked at Blowpipe. I've got him here also. This is from the Titans Return toy line, so we'll take a look at them in just a little bit. So, but yeah, so that's it. Those are the new bots that are going to be coming. Pretty sure they're going to be air class bots because they are both jets. Well, Sixgun isn't traditionally, but this figure does have a flight alt mode, and Triggerhappy is definitely a space jet. So these guys are likely to be air class bots. They could be specials because any kind of bot can be a special, but they're definitely going to fly and probably have some kind of ability like that. But this is all we know. We don't know their bios yet, and we don't have their abilities yet because that's how it goes. Usually we get this, not always. But then we'll get a 3D model with a bio, and then we learn about their abilities, and then we finally actually get them. And just a reminder, we still haven't learned anything new about these new guys. K-Bon subscribed. Thank you so much for resubscribing here on Twitch. I do appreciate the support. Gen 1 Red Alert also resubscribed earlier before we started the recording. Thank you for that, and thank you to everybody else who has also subscribed. New combat bots, Lionizer and Catgut. About the only thing they knew in the newsletter is they did confirm these guys are going to be melee weapons, but we kind of already knew that because we took a look, and we've got Lionizer there. He's in his sword mode from the Siege line, and of course it's not Earthrise. And then Catgut, this is from the Collector Club. We saw that last week, even on the live the official stream. I had that. But they're using basically just a recolor of Lionizer, and yeah, they turn into swords. They're melees. We figured that's what it was going to be, and they confirmed it this week. And that's going to do it for the news, or at least for the slides that I have prepared. Just if you want to see the link in writing on the screen, there you go. This is where we record our streams Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/EngineerHoist. You can also head on over to Instagram and Twitter and follow me at EngineerHoist for some behind-the-scenes content. Grim Knowledge is now following here on Twitch. Thank you and welcome to the party. I guess that's not really a thing I say. It could be, I guess. All right. So here we go. Back over here. So let's take a closer look at these new bots here. So here is a close-up look of Sixgun from the Transformers Siege line. He was he the first weaponizer? No, I think Brunt was the first weaponizer, but he was definitely one of the early ones. And this is basically one of the companion bots for Metroplex. He's sold individually in Siege, so he's not. You don't have to have Metroplex for him, but traditionally, the character that he was based on was included with the original Generation 1 Metroplex toy, and also featured in, I believe, one episode as basically like part of the security force for Metroplex. And to transform him, he's a little bit of a parts former or whatever, but so we'll go ahead and transform him into his robot mode. And try to remember you do actually take that off. And put it, then just put it back around this other side, flip that down, flip the thing back here, flip the head around, and then knock it off, but make a nice catch. You take the arms off, you flip the sides down, flip these down. Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, parts former. Yeah, well, you know, these guys, I mean, that's kind of their gimmick because they're weaponizers. They're meant to come off, and I just dropped his gun, but we'll go ahead and leave that on the floor because it's not important to the look of the guy. But there he is in his robot mode, and yeah. So there you go, and that's they basically they nailed it. Well, I guess these can come off of his shoulders, and I don't know where they go. I don't remember. I think they go on. There we go. I remember now. They kind of go up on the back over here. Yep. So that's Sixgun. And I mean, of all of the bots that are weaponizers, I'm not familiar with. I think Brunt is kind of a new character, at least new with the robot mode. But Sixgun, he was always essentially a weaponizer. I mean, he got his name Sixgun from being literally 6 guns when he came with Metroplex. His arms were basically just 2 big guns that could fit on Metroplex's arms. His legs were 2 guns. And then the torso was kind of like a gun tower, which we'll say has 2 guns in it, so that makes 6 guns. But so there you go. No Grand Galvatron. This is not Philip. This is Philip's friend. But yeah, so there you go. There is Sixgun in all of his Siege glory, looking good. And he's probably going to fall down when I try to set him down because he just doesn't work well standing on the ground or whatever. Was Sixgun part of Metroplex in G1? Yes, he was. He was included with the G1 figure. But when the did he come out in Combiner Wars Metroplex? Or just Generations Metroplex, I think. But anyway, when the big Metroplex came out, the modern one, he included Scamper, but did not include Sixgun. So finally, when Siege came around, they started doing the weaponizer thing and started giving the city bots, the Titans, some of their other additional bots, like Cog, I believe, came with Fortress Maximus originally back in G1, so he got a weaponizer bot. He was the first weaponizer. Now that I think about it, you guys may have said that in the chat already that I missed. But yeah, and then Brunt, I believe, was a kind of a tank thing that Triptychon had, but did not transform into a robot mode. But he does do that now. So, yeah, we can talk about that more later if you guys want. But let's go ahead and get on over here to Triggerhappy. And I was happy bringing this guy out when we talked about Blowpipe, because Blowpipe in G1, who is one of the first combat bots in the game, you may have Blowpipe already in your combat bot arsenal, was the Target Master bot with Target Triggerhappy. So we actually had him out when we were talking about Blowpipe a little while back, and I was very happy to bring him out because he has one of the most interesting and fun transformations in recent memory. And let me just let me just try to do that. First of all, he kind of has his arms go splay out. One of the things I liked about it is the legs. Normally they fold up perfectly into like 90 degrees or whatever. This has like a 45-degree angles in it, and the feet, the bottom of the feet actually comes up into the middle there, and it's just very unique. And then it also does this fun little thing where you pull this down, and you actually get it to where he does basically a spin move before he goes and plops back down. And I gotta actually get his little headmaster guy out He wasn't a headmaster in G1, but he was in Titans Return because everybody was a headmaster in Titans Return. And then his arms just kind of stay out like that. No, they don't. They collapse in. And then the wings kind of fold back. The guns flip up. Pull the hands out. And I did not forget about his head. I have it in my hand. And you just kind of... Did I do it? Yeah, I did. Oh, gotta spin the waist around. So there you go. There is Triggerhappy. Very much like what they showed him in the paint over. They clearly based the model off of this figure. And they did a good job. I was looking at it a little bit closer earlier on. And he's got more painted details in the model that they've got in the game as opposed to the toy, which is common because they do have to hold back a little bit sometimes with the toys. More paint means more money, and they try to hit a certain price point, but in the game they can add colors wherever they want. So I was thinking about it, and it almost looked like it was if you were to take the toy and maybe put some toy hack stickers on it. That's kind of what the game model is, because it had a little bit of gold there in the gun, a little bit of pink there too, and some more details kind of in the legs. But overall, there you go. You got Triggerhappy, and if I can get a hold of him, Sixgun. So these are the toys that the 2 new bots come into the game are based on. Probably looking at 3 more weeks, maybe, before we see the event with them. Some people out there may know, but I don't recall if it's been announced. Certainly hasn't been announced public, but the events usually go about every 4 weeks, and we got a bot 2 weeks ago. It says to me 2 to 3 weeks for these guys at least. So there you go. Sixgun and Triggerhappy. Toy Axe cores. Well, that's kind of what the G1 cores gives you a little bit of a different look, or even like before they had the G1 cores, they had the bot specific cores, like the silver Jetfire, what is it? The chrome Jetfire, I think they call it, and the battle damage Megatron. Give them an extra different look. So those are basically kind of like putting the toy hack stickers on them, isn't it? Big Bronze Room saying Flak is easily the favorite combat bot so far. I think a lot of people actually do. It says it allows you to have all sorts of options for Prima. Oh, so it does actually work with the Prima Prime Core. I haven't tested that out. I was wondering about that. So yeah, cool. So the question of who do you put Prima on, the answer always used to be hands down Skyburst Onslaught, no doubt. But now if you can basically turn any bot into that type of a gunner, then yeah. So basically Prima Prime Core, put it on Skyburst and Onslaught or any bot with Flak as the combat bot. There you go. Who would be a great fit for Flak? You know, honestly, I haven't even managed to get around to equip my bots yet. I've been kind of holding off till I can make a video for it. But I was thinking Cup might be a good one. Trax. I was thinking Trax, honestly. He's kind of the leader in my mind there. Bing's Bronze Rim saying using Trax with Prima. A lot of guys run it on Cheetor and Silverbolt. Yeah, Jetfire, Cybertron Jetfire, Sky Striker Jetfire. I've heard a lot of people trying to do that. Swoop. I've heard of people doing that. What did I say about pairing with the Prima Prime Core? Yeah, that's right. You just got yours. So Skyburst or Onslaught, and if you don't have them or don't want to put them on there, if you have a bot with Flak equipped as your combat bot, that it turns that bot into a gunner like Skyburst. So then Prima Prime Core would also work with that same type of a thing. The combat bot will turn that attack is the new standard attack, and that works with Prima. So like if you were to put Flak, or anytime I say Flak, it's Crater Maker for you Decepticons out there. So if you put that one of those two guys on any bot, they will have that area of effect spread like Skyburst and Onslaught, and then Prima will work with that attack. So it gives you more options than just having to choose Skyburst. But I have Prima already on my 5-star Skyburst, and because I didn't really have any options at the time because the combat wasn't out then, and I kind of like it on her. It works. No, don't put Flak on Skyburst because she's already got that kind of an attack. I'm not sure if it would actually enhance the attack. The cool thing about Flak is that, like, say, Trax is who I'm kind of thinking of doing it. Instead of just shooting with a normal gun and his little slow down gun, which I've never seen actually be useful, instead of doing that, if I put Flak on Trax will now attack the same way as Skyburst. Trax will be a gunner shooting that same kind of multiple rockets each time. That is the benefit of Flak or Crater Maker for you Decepticons. So, but I don't think putting Flak or Crater Maker on Skyburst / Onslaught would be necessarily useful. I wouldn't put Blowpipe or Fire Drive on either of them either, because then that would take away that benefit of that area of effect gunning. You could certainly put Night Stalker or Ravage on them because they don't change the attack of that bot. They just are an extra minion that just comes along to the battle with them. So that's kind of one of those things, like when we talk about with Night Stalker or Ravage. Who are they good with? Literally anybody, because it does not affect the base bot at all. It's just whoever you have that particular combat bot on with Night Stalker or Ravage. When you send that bot into battle, you're just taking an extra bot into battle with you. So, and Domino Raptor says equipped Prima Core to drag strip with Crater Maker. That's a very good choice. You know, drag strip was already a gunner, but he had a standard, just a single grenade that he launched. So you put Crater Maker on, so now he's got that area of effect and Prima with that. So now anytime he fires the gun, you should see the Prima icon on multiple different things in there. Who's a great fit for Fire Drive? Honestly, I'm not sure about those guys. I've tried them out a couple times. I'm just, I need more practice with them, and other people might give you an idea, but I didn't really see a huge difference. It's just kind of like just another gun. They say they're supposed to be like more damage to walls, so I'm not real sure. I wish I could answer that for you, but I don't even know yet. Is there a chart who's suggested for each combat bot? I don't know if there's a chart with the suggested, but there's definitely a chart with compatibility, and I can tell you there's a few exceptions, but generally the Pteroxodon and Pterodactyl will be equipped by melee bots. Flak and Crater Maker or Blowpipe Fire Drive can be work on any air bot, gunner, or any other type of bot other than melee style or healers. Healers don't get anybody except Night Stalker and Ravage. And there are a few exceptions, like Drift, I think, that can't take anybody except Night Stalker or Ravage. And I think Star Saber as well. Maybe Sentius Magnus. I might be wrong. But the ones that I noticed that it's because they have a particular fighting style. So so that's why I don't think you can have anybody other than Night Stalker or Ravage. Interestingly, the bots that have a preferred beast mode, like most of the Dino bots, you can still put Pterodactyl or Pteroxodon on them, and when they go attack, the effect will take place. You won't see them wielding that the combat bot in beast mode. It's not like they hold them in their mouth or something, which would be hilarious if they could do that. But I did try it on Skylinks, and while you could not see the combat bot, you could see the effect of that combat bot, because when he would attack, you could see the earthquake, as they call it, all the dust or whatever around the bot, the defense that it was attacking. So it does work on bots like Skylinks and the Dinobots that have a preferred beast mode as opposed to a standard robot mode. So you won't see them holding it, but the attack effect does work. So I keep trying to do a video on that whole combat system. I'm working on a script, and I just haven't had a long enough time to sit down and put it all together. Yeah, but anyway, so there's a little sidebar, a little bonus combat bot talk. I do have a few crystals, including a prime core crystal, so how about we get to that? We'll crack open these. These are the shard crystals we got from the last weekend's event. You know, chances are I'll have a few other crystals to open up once we get through that. I mean, premium if nothing else. I think I'm about, well, before that 4-star crystals came in, I was about 1,700 or so 4-star shards, so I have to get quite a few 4-star shards to get a 4-star crystal, so I'm not expecting that. Well, there's 200, so that'd put me at 1,900. If we get 6 more of those, you might be cracking a 4-star crystal. Funny thing about Megs of Pterodactyl, you have to see him every time you go into a battle. You must be cracking up while playing this game then. Animation glitch with Sentius Magnus? No, I haven't seen that. Oh, there's some more 4-star shards. Night Stalker on Blaster, kind of fun. Yeah, you know, my 5-star Blaster still doesn't have a power core, so I'm looking at that, and like I said, I haven't done any combat bots. So I'm thinking of putting a combat bot on Blaster. I'm not sure about Night Stalker though, because I usually drop his other minions. I usually drop them, and with that 5-star, they last. They last. So he's already bringing 4 extra bots with him. So I'm thinking Night Stalker might be better used somewhere else. But I mean, like I said, I mean, he can be used on anybody. Yeah, I think we just might have gotten enough 4-star shards. Yeah, I think that was it right there. We got a 4-star crystal coming, folks. Helps him solo. Yes, okay, well see, that makes sense. If you're actually going and trying to solo, well then yeah, it would be, it's like bringing an extra bot. So yeah, I definitely can see why you would want to do it in that case. Honestly, for that reason, I've been using Sentius Magnus to do the leveling of my bots, so I'm thinking I might throw, I don't have a 4-star, but I do have the 3-star. I was thinking about throwing a Night Stalker on the Sentius Magnus. Boom, 4-star crystal. And we're only 5 away from a 3-star crystal. One of these premiums is almost certain to give us that. There's Bumblebee. Yeah, and there's our 3-star crystal. The other premium gives us Smokescreen. Push Sentius through to 61. Yeah, he's my highest bot because I am always running him on my for leveling. I want to say he's at 55 or 56. 3-star crystal gives us hotspot. In Domino Raptor asking a little ways back, is Nog a good choice for the Sharkticon Prime Core? I mean, Quintus Prime? I gotta tell you, that's one of the few that I don't have. Well, before we go crack these open, let's go ahead and take a look at these cores. Look at my Prime cores. So there we go. We've got Amalgamus, Onyx, Leech Maximo, Micronus, Alchemist, which I'm thinking of taking Alchemist off of Star Saber because I'm not sure if it really does much good on him. And Prima, as we've talked about, is on Skyburst. I have Vector on Drift. I might think about putting Vector on Star Saber because I've seen people attack me with Star Saber and Death Source with Vector. They send him into suicide. He does a lot of damage, dies real quick, and then pops right back with the rest of the bots to go attack. So I'm considering that move. I have Solus Prime on Bumblebee, and honestly, that works pretty well. And I have Nexus Prime on Nobody. It will stay there. So missing in action, one of these three is going to show up out of that Prime Core chip: Megatronus, Alpha Trion, and Quintus Prime. So Megatronus is I was considering Megatronus on Star Saber until I just saw Vector. I was like, I'm gonna do Vector. So definitely Megatronus is going to be somebody who's a warrior who's going to go rush into battle and go run past a lot. So I'll have to think about who do I tend to do that with mostly. Alpha Trion, honestly, I'm not sure. A lot of people say to put on a healer, but I have a gold G1 on First Aid and Ratchet, and I don't want to take those off. I do have gold Ray boosters on Wheeljack. I'm not sure if I want to take that off. And then, of course, Quintus Prime. That's the Sharkticon one, which I think is amazing. So I'm going to want to think about that. I saw somebody with Sludge. Now, it doesn't have to be on Sludge for it to work, but where he did the did Sludge's ability into a large group of walls, and just was like 1,000 Sharkticons all spawned at once, and it was amazing. I think we showed it off in a stream once a while back. So anyway, let's go see which one we get. Megatronus, Alpha Trion, or Quintus Prime. Let's do the 4-star crystal first because it's probably a dupe. Prowl. That's okay. Gives me 5-star shards and Trithelium plating, which I don't really need. But Combiner Spark is good. Okay, Prime Core. It is Quintus Prime. Sharks, here we come. Big Bronze Rim, that was very apropos right there. The Sharks from Quintus draw a lot of aggro, which is what makes it so good. Oh yes, that's very good, because not only do they do a little bit of damage, because if I recall, they don't stay that long. Yeah, they only last 7 seconds, but for that 7 seconds, they distract the defenses, and they're hitting those little Sharkticons instead of your bots. That's why Blaster is one of the anytime I'm working with him, I drop his minions. Anytime I've got Gnaw on my team, I drop his little Chomp Chomps. Because same thing, they do some damage, but more importantly, they draw the defenses to them away. And that is probably the more important effect of those minions than really any kind of damage that they can do. So there we go. So now we're down to 2, Alpha Trion and Megatronus. It's kind of funny that Megatronus was one of the very first that was actually released, and yet here we are still haven't seen it. But that it's going to come eventually. It's even if I don't get it next time, it'll just mean that it's guaranteed to be the time after that. So one of the next 2 times I'll be getting Megatronus. At least we got Nexus out of the way. We got some more tips from Big Bronze Rim. When using a ranged bot like Lynx, it spawns them where his target is destroyed. Ooh, really? Didn't it used to spawn from the bot? I seem to remember when it actually came out, all the sharks spawned from the bot with the core instead of the spots where it was destroyed. If it actually spawns from where it was destroyed, then yes, ranged bot would be great. Skylynx would be very good. If you got a Jazz that can cause a lot of damage, that would probably be pretty good. Although I've got that gold G1 Jazz on there, and I'm not sure if I'd want to swap it out for Quintus for the chance that he might have that. Plus, Jazz is also expensive. Skylynx is actually pretty reasonable. His ability cost is actually pretty reasonable until you use it a few times. Maybe the first 2 or 3 uses of Skylink's ability, even using the 2 abilities together, is actually pretty darn reasonable. I'm just going in. Who do I have on Skylinks? I'd probably just have like a Rejuvenate or something on that. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you're giving me an idea. I think I might be putting Quintus here on Skylinks because I do use his ability quite a bit. And not just to snipe the headquarters. Interesting. The funny thing is, I happen to have Jazz and Skylinks on the same squad right now. I don't think I really need both of them. Although Jazz does have a little bit bigger range, I think. I don't know. I have found different use scenarios for both of them. So sometimes it makes sense to use Jazz, sometimes Skylinks. And honestly, I haven't put a whole lot of thought into my building my squads. A lot of times it's just, hey, this one's maxed out. I need to get somebody else in, and then I just swap who it needs to be. I try to keep a good mix of like warriors with gunners with flyers and a healer or something like that. But they haven't really thought about synergies or anything like that. But yeah, so here's my blaster here. We've got him over 51, but he's naked. He's got no power core. He's got no combat bot. Trying Squintus on Quintus. Squintus. I combined Quintus and Scavenger into Squintus. Oh, I cracked myself up. Trying Quintus on Scavenger, says Oktar, works well after you use the special ability. Yeah, I would think so, because it does have a big area of effect. I found Rust Dust is the equivalent, and I have found at least mine's not high enough level to do a lot of damage on its own. It's really good for cleanup. Like if I were to use some other ability and weaken a large area, like usually what I do, she's on the same squad as Elita 1. So if I send Elita 1 in, boom, she drops down, does her punch of kill everything. I know that's not what it's called, that's slugged up, but so what? Elita 1 has a punch of kill everything too. She goes in here, does her punch of kill everything, doesn't quite take it all out, but you know what? I send her off to do another poke. And then Rust Dust will be there, and I fire off hers, and then she cleans up the rest of the area. So I guess I do have a little bit of a synergy there, but that was more of an accidental synergy. It just kind of happened to work out that way. So, Big Runs Rims saying you run Jazz and Lynx on the War team. Both are critical for pathing a base. Yes, I've noticed I've started to try to do that too, where I try to open the holes. I never really thought about it as kind of pathing. I need to do the pathing, but it is essentially what I'm doing. Because the base would be all spread out. I'll say, okay, I need to try to clear out, send them off on the one side or the other, and then clear out everything in the middle so they don't just kind of go back and forth. I want them to stay on this side, and so I've been doing that too. Death from above, yes, I think so, but come on, punch of kill everything or the poke is a lot more fun to say. But that's Lugnut's thing. That is the one time I wish I was a Decepticon, because Lugnut is like one of my favorite characters, probably my favorite Decepticon. In animated, he's just a fantastic character, and the toy really got me. The Generations toy with Lugnut is just amazing. Interestingly, the whole punch of kill everything, if I remember, I mean that was a thing that he did in the animated series, but that's not what it was called. That was more of a fan-coined term that basically became canon as noted in the game here, because that is what they call it. But the punch of kill everything, or the POKE, or poke. So death from above, poke is a lot more fun. And yes, honestly, I forgot what it was called. On time trap bases and clear bases so you can sweep from side to side. You have to destroy the defenses at the back of the lower trap so you never have to break walls. Yeah, Ooh, I missed the tip about Red Alert. Still like Jazz with Cliff Jumper? Yeah, that's definitely a good synergy. I don't have like when I run my Decepticon squads, I don't have a Mix Master, but I do have a 4-star Brawl and a 4-star Kickback. So same kind of a thing. They're not. I'm getting them into Zone 12 now, and can't quite one-shot some of the defenses, but Brawl can't do it by himself, but I can do it with Kickback going out first to weaken it with his glass gas, and then follow up with the rockets. Call Lugnut special ability Lightning Fist of Justice Punch. Hey, you can call it whatever you want, but to me it's the poke. It will always be the poke. Felt like changing it up, put Alpha Trion and Blitzwing and basically bomb away as much as you want. Yeah, that way you're guaranteed to have those extra ability points anywhere that you take Blitzwing. Obviously, the ability points will come and can be used by anybody. But if you're switching up your squads and you want to make sure that wherever you take your Blitzwing, it's got the extra ability points, then yeah, it's smart to put Alpha Trion on him. For sure your favorite stream. Thank you, DS Michaels. I'm glad you can make it and you stuck around. You were here before we started and you're still here. Thank you so much for the support. And let's see. I think that's all we've got for the recording. If you guys are here on Twitch, stick around. We'll talk a little bit more like we usually do. For those of you watching the replay on YouTube, head over to twitch.tv/engineerhoist. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. so you can join in on the recording and you can join the after party or whatever we end up calling it. Yeah, so that's going to do it. I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends, and we'll see you next time.